Hey everybody, it's Joe Hadoba from Salem Media Group coming to you again. I have a very special edition of Cup of Joe. I actually was invited to come up to Western PA Adult and Teen Challenge by Dave Lewis to record in his studio, so I'm getting a little bit of production value out of my little tips and videos that I have here. So what I wanted to do is actually a special series on the roadblocks that small business owners have in their advertising and marketing, and try to give a couple of ideas on how to kind of break through some of that. Today, I wanted to talk about being overwhelmed by the choice that you have within your advertising campaigns. The fact of the matter is that there are so many different avenues now with the advent and speciality of the digital marketing that's out there. What do you do? Do you do radio? Do you do TV? Do you do pay-per-click? Do you do a combination of all of them? It's really hard to determine that. And frankly, what is geofencing? What is it really? And so then you have to ask yourself after that, do you do it on your own? You can get certified by Google and you could even just do your own pay-per-click advertising right now. Is that really what you want to do? Do you have the skills? Do you have the abilities to do that? That's up to you. And frankly, for the most part, do you have the time? Most small business owners don't. The other thing that you could do is you could hire somebody. Sure, maybe they're right out of college, you can get them for a good deal. Still got to pay their insurance, still got to pay their salary. Are they actually going to work out? It's a big commitment. Then you can go ahead and hire somebody like me, a salesperson, coming on in, slick talk, have everything right at their fingertips. Some of them are consultants. I try to be. But the fact of the matter is, how do you know to trust this person? How do you know that they're actually going to accomplish and complete what they want to do or what you want to do in your business? It's hard and it's overwhelming. Like, what do you do? So let me give you a few ideas on how to kind of break through this overwhelming feeling that you can have when deciding on what your advertising and marketing campaign should look like. The first thing that you got to do to be able to break through on that is to understand the customer journey. Some old timers, some folks that have been in the industry and in business for a long time will just call it the sales process. But Google, in their infinite wisdom, have decided to put an infographic and nice pictures and a path and all this stuff wherever it can go and call it the customer journey. They're really smart. It's okay. But we got to understand the customer journey. Now, Google states that with 5 different categories, and each one has its best tactic to use to go ahead and actually achieve the goals that you have for your business in its marketing and advertising. So number 1 is awareness, right? Most people understand awareness as branding. The fact of the matter is the customer has to know that you exist before they can move down to actually start considering and buying from you. Second one is consideration. Oops. So consideration, people are Googling and doing research on what bag of coffee to buy, let alone who they should use for their financial consulting or who they should use to put on their new roof. So, with Google, it has the entire understanding of human existence within the internet. It's amazing. And so people do their research now. And what that'll end up doing is causing intent, if they like you, leading to the decision and purchase, which everybody wants. Everybody wants the leads, everybody wants the decision, everybody wants the money. That's important, but they forget about over here. And lastly, everybody stops there too. They forget about the retention of their current clients and the reputation of their company with those clients. The fact of the matter is, word of mouth advertising is still the absolute number 1 thing that any business can gain. It's the most golden goose that you could possibly have. Well, on the internet now, people actually trust Google reviews. People actually trust Yelp reviews. Is your reputation on Google, Yelp, and Facebook, is that where you want it to be? So you've got to understand what your customer journey is like. You got to understand where you need to place, whether it's more branding and awareness because not enough people know because you're the best kept secret in the area, or does everybody know who you are? Maybe your reputation's taking a hit from a couple of 2-star reviews. You got to decide. So the second thing that you got to do is understand all the new tactics that are out there, all the digital things, pay-per-click, YouTube, targeted emails. They all have analog versions of that. You know, podcasting is nothing but radio, and you can sponsor podcasts, or you can do your own podcast yourself, like a radio program. You know, mailers is nothing more than targeted emails. It's great to be able to interact with a new group of people with an offer. And then billboards are nothing but display ads. We're just, instead of seeing it up on the side of the road, we're seeing it right in front of our screens on our phones and on our computers. So where do you start? You start by deciding and determining, what does one client mean to you? What does one client mean to you within a year? What does one client mean to you through a lifetime? And decide, is that worth investing to gain 2 people? You want to try to at least start with a 2-to-1 return over the course of 6 months to a year. And then on top of that, you got to decide, how many of those people do I need? And then work your funnel backwards. After that, you choose 1 or 2 tactics to start with. We're just starting. And you got to buy enough frequency to actually start your growth pattern. And you got to buy enough frequency to actually maintain that. But that's where you start. So the fact of the matter is that there are specific strategies to be used depending on your business's industry, the age of your business or the age of the owner, your risk aversion, and your market position. So the fact of the matter is that there are specific things for specific businesses. So if you're interested in determining, you know, what your pipeline and what your sales funnel actually needs to look like, let me know. My email address is at the bottom of the screen. It's also in the description for the video. This is Joe Hdoba from Salem Media Group. I hope this was helpful. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.